He shouted at the judge, ridiculed the victims, and turned the courtroom into pure chaos.
I don't care about the inevitable. It was
I
already
need to
written
get
from day
through
one
this
what was going to
hearing.
happen. It doesn't make me lose
You need
any
to stop
sleep.
right now or you will be removed.
Remove me. You want to come check the boxes yourself? It's not no game. That's what you don't
It
seem
is
to
a game
understand.
you. Mr. Brooks,
And Miss Judge,
I'm going to stand my ground on this.
I'm going to
Okay,
stand my
it
ground
is-
too. And it's disrespectful to me that you think I would come in here purposely and treat this like a joke or a game. Your life is not on the line. Mine is. And you think that I think this is funny?
I don't think it's funny whatsoever.
I think you should.
Darrell Brooks disrupted his own trial, yelling, arguing, and trying to take control of the proceedings. This was the case of the Christmas Parade massacre, where 6 innocent people lost their lives and more than 60 others were injured. Yet, in a twist no one expected, the judge who had endured his endless defiance broke into tears while handing down
1 life sentence for Virginia Sorensen. 1 life sentence for Leanna Owen. 1 life sentence for Tamara Durand. 1 life sentence for Jane Kulik. 1 life sentence for Bill Hospital. And 1 life sentence for Jackson Sparks.
1 life sentence for every victim, stacked endlessly until Brooks had no future left. And the man who had never stopped shouting finally wept when he realized there would be no escape. This is the story of Darrell Brooks, the trial that spiraled into a circus, and the emotional moment when even the judge could no longer hold back her tears. The man accused of driving his SUV through a Christmas parade, leaving 6 dead and over 60 wounded, didn't beg for mercy. Instead, he fought tooth and nail, clashing with the judge, challenging prosecutors, and railing against the very system trying to hold him accountable. He slammed his fists, accused the court of bias, and dismissed the entire trial as nothing more than a game.
1 more interruption and you're going to be removed to the next courtroom.
That's what you want to do anyway.
It's not what I want to do. Do not interrupt Attorney Opper.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell,
I
can you
believe he
explain?
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI second from 2003, criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared. And we're taking
It
a
wasn't
break.
just defiance. It was full-blown chaos. On November 21st, 2021, the city of Waukesha, Wisconsin was alive with holiday spirit. Families gathered along the streets for the beloved annual Christmas parade. What was supposed to be a night of joy turned to horror in an instant. At 4:39 p.m., a red Ford Escape crashed through the barricades and sped into the parade route. Witnesses recalled it swerving deliberately, as though targeting groups of people. Within moments, laughter turned into screams. 6 lives were stolen, among them 8-year-old Jackson Sparks, while 62 others suffered injuries. Behind the wheel was Darrell Brooks, Jr., a career criminal whose record stretched back to the 1990s. Just 2 days earlier, he had been released on a $1,000 bond for another violent offense. Now, the unimaginable had unfolded. His arrest was as strange as the crime itself. After fleeing the SUV, Brooks knocked on a stranger's door, claiming he was homeless and waiting for an Uber. Minutes later, police swarmed the area and took him into custody.
Hey, can I? My ID. My ID.
Hands up! Put your hands where I can see them!
Whoa!
Hands up! Hands up!
What? I just.
26, 500 block of Elizabeth, 126.
At first, the case seemed straightforward. But once inside the courtroom, it became anything but. Brooks dismissed his public defenders and demanded to represent himself.
Do you wish to represent yourself in this case?
Yes, I do.
Before, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would like to represent myself pro per.
So if you are allowed to represent yourself in this case, sir, you will not have attorneys assisting you. If I let them withdraw, they are gone from this case. Do you understand that?
From that point forward, the trial transformed into a battlefield. He bombarded the court with pseudo-legal arguments, questioned the judge's authority, and objected to nearly everything the prosecution said. His disruptions piled up day after day, ripping his shirt off, hiding notes in his clothing, and eventually being forced into a separate courtroom where he could watch on a monitor, silenced when necessary. His outbursts weren't just frequent, they were explosive.
When
It's time, Your Honor.
it is based on the list that you provided and
That didn't
in
have a
order.
time. That didn't have a time or of
I'm not going to
or an
play
order.
this game with you, sir.
It's not no game.
It
That's what
was-
you don't
it
seem
is
to
a game
understand.
you. I believe that fully.
I don't care what you believe fully.
All right.
It's not a game.
We.
I don't take this as a
asked-
game. That's what
me
nobody.
explain this to you
That's what
once
nobody.
again.
You don't got to explain nothing to me.
Do you want?
That's what you don't understand. You think
you
that
want
this
the
is a whole
opportunity
game
to
to me.
question?
This is not a game to me, Your Honor. Nothing about this is a joke.
I never
That's
said
what
it
y'all
was a
don't
joke.
understand.
But there's
And it's
some things in
unfair.
this ship
It's
that's going on.
unfair and it's disrespectful to me that you think I would come in here purposely and treat this like a joke or a game.
I never said it was a
What
joke.
type of statement is that?
Mr.
Your life is not on the line. Mine is. And you think that I think this is funny?
I don't think it's funny whatsoever.
So,
And I understand.
I think, Your Honor, with all due respect, I think you should show
we're
some
gonna take
respect.
a 5-minute break, and when we come back, the jury's coming out, and you need to call your next witness. Thank you. We are in
Nah,
recess.
you're not rushing me to judgment. I don't care which one.
Despite it all, Judge Jennifer Dorow managed to maintain control, though the strain was evident. She later admitted this was the most difficult case of her career. The jurors sat patiently, waiting for Brooks's fury to burn out. But the evidence against him was undeniable. The prosecution presented videos of the SUV plowing through the parade, testimony from dozens of eyewitnesses, and survivors who pointed directly to Brooks as the driver. On October 26, 2022, after only 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict. Guilty on all 76 counts.
Find the defendant, Darrell E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 3 of the information. And I should state as to count 2, it was signed and dated by the foreperson, same as to count 3. Did the defendant commit first-degree intentional homicide while using a dangerous weapon? Answer, yes.
6 lives.
6 lives lost, 61 others endangered, and countless families forever shattered. Weeks later came the sentencing, one of the most emotional courtroom moments in Wisconsin's history. 45 survivors and grieving family members stood before the court, their voices sharp and heartbreaking, cutting through the room like glass. Yet, even in the face of their pain, Brooks continued to argue. He interrupted speakers, challenged victims, and tried to claim that he too had been failed by a broken system.
How you want to sit up here
Stop.
and try to
now.
add something in that you know for a fact never even happened. You want to sit up here
Mr.
and talk
Brooks,
about
every
who
time-
has grace and all this. You talking about someone with 5 kids that don't have custody.
You need to stop
None of
right
them.
now or you will be removed.
Remove me then.
All right? He will be removed. He cannot simply stay
I don't
quiet when
consent
this
to being
court talks.
sentenced anyway. I don't consent to this.
But when it was
When
fun,
Judge Dorow finally spoke, her steady composure faltered. Holding back tears, she addressed Brooks directly, saying no words could capture the depth of suffering he had caused.
It's hard not to think about what I watched and not have this reaction. Those were images that frankly kept me up at night, that I saw over and over and over. For their band director, she is a hero to me, to get up on the stand, to talk about, and that was Sarah Waymeyer Aparicio to identify each one of her students. Talk about their formation. Talk about what she saw. So strong for all of you.
Then came
She confessed to being haunted by the images from that day and praised the extraordinary strength of those who had testified despite their pain. Then came the punishment. 6 life sentences, 1 for each victim, with no chance of parole, followed by an additional 762 years for the dozens of others who had been injured.
Frankly, Mr. Brooks, no one is safe from you. This community can only be safe if you are behind bars for the rest of your life. On counts 1 through 6, this court is imposing a life sentence without the possibility or eligibility for extended supervision consecutive to one another. 1 life sentence for Virginia Sorensen. 1 life sentence for Leanna Owen. 1 life sentence for Tamara Durand. 1 life sentence for Jane Kulik. 1 life sentence for Bill Hospel. And 1 life sentence for Jackson Sparks. On counts 7 through 67, consecutive to any other sentence that I've imposed here today, that is 762 and a half years of initial confinement and 305 years of extended supervision on top of the life sentences that I've imposed. Has anyone else joined the Zoom?
Who had been injured. It was a sentence designed to ensure Brooks would never walk free again. And at that moment, after weeks of arrogance and defiance, he finally cracked. Standing at the defense table, he took deep, heavy breaths, his face stiff as if fighting to hold it together. The man who had mocked the court shouted at the judge and refused to even acknowledge his own name. Finally let his mask slip, showing signs of tears as the weight of his fate became undeniable. The Waukesha Parade tragedy will forever remain one of the darkest chapters in Wisconsin's history. But inside that courtroom, justice was delivered, firmly, painfully, and through the tears of both the victims' families and the judge who issued the sentence. And so, one haunting question remains. Darrell Brooks turned his trial into a circus full of shouting, denial, and defiance, showing no remorse until the very end. But when the sentence was handed down, he finally broke down. Were those tears the first glimpse of true regret? Or simply the crushing realization that he would never walk free again?